Ladies and gentlemen, there's incredible power in the words you speak over your life. Most people don't realize it, but words carry weight. What you consistently say to yourself becomes the blueprint for how you live. If you constantly talk about defeat, you'll find yourself living in it. But if you declare victory, you can rise above any circumstance. Here's what you need to understand. Words aren't just sounds, they're powerful forces. Even the casual things we say have the potential to shape the world around us. From the beginning of time, words have always held influence. Just think about it. Everything in existence was first declared, spoken into being. Whether you approach that spiritually or practically, the truth is undeniable. Our words can build or destroy. Too often we speak without thinking, throwing around phrases like, "I can't do this," "I'll never succeed," or "this is just how things are." Each time we say those things, we're reinforcing a limiting belief, laying the groundwork for those outcomes to manifest. It's like paving a road you never wanted to walk down, but you'll end up on that path because you built it with your own words. Now flip the script. When you start speaking with intention, words of strength and triumph, you create a new direction. When you wake up and tell yourself, "I've got what it takes," your mindset shifts. Your actions begin to reflect that belief. You start living in alignment with the narrative you're creating. Words are like seeds. Each one you speak plants something in your life. And eventually, those seeds grow. So ask yourself, what are you growing? Are you nurturing doubt, fear, and limitation? Or are you planting strength, vision, and potential? When you begin to speak blessings, to affirm your own greatness, your whole perspective begins to shift. And when your perspective shifts, your life starts to follow. A lot of people think they need their situation to change before they speak positively, but that's backward. It's your language that often triggers the change. Speak it before you see it. That's the heart of faith. That's true empowerment. Your words start working on your behalf, shifting things in your favor. The problem is, many of us go through life not even realizing how often we curse our own potential with negative language. We're quick to highlight flaws, list reasons we'll fail, or let self-doubt lead the conversation. Our insecurities show up in our speech, and before long, they've created a cage of limitation. Phrases like, "I'll never make it," or "I'm not enough," don't just express doubt. They build a reality where confidence and growth are stifled. It's like putting up walls that never had to exist. Now imagine turning that around. Instead of tearing yourself down, you start speaking life, confidence, and purpose. You plant seeds of opportunity, of success, and belief. Even when things are tough, you speak like you're moving forward. Words like "I'm capable" or "I'm made for this" are not just affirmations. They're catalysts. They open doors you didn't even realize were there because you were too focused on what was lacking. The shift happens when you get intentional about your language. Stop dwelling on what's missing and start celebrating what's already within you. Focus on your strengths. Speak your truth with boldness. When you speak blessings over your life, the world responds. You begin attracting ideas, opportunities, and people that match your new mindset. It's a habit. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You start to retrain your inner voice. The negative talk fades, replaced by something more powerful, a voice of faith, hope, and fire. Challenges no longer feel like dead ends. They become lessons and stepping stones. You'll walk with confidence, knowing you've already spoken success into existence. There's real power in acknowledging your worth. Too many people wait around hoping someone else will recognize their value. But the truth is, you can't wait for that. You have to recognize your own greatness first. You know yourself better than anyone, and only you can define your value. In a world full of noise and comparison, where it's easy to feel unseen or not good enough, you've got to block that out. Your value isn't based on how many likes you get, what title you hold, or the mistakes in your past. Your worth is woven into your very being. Every day, remind yourself of that truth. Look yourself in the mirror and declare that you're worthy of joy, love, and success, that you have something powerful and unique to offer the world. You can't wait for someone to grant you permission to believe in yourself. The world may try to convince you that you're not enough, but you have to reject that narrative. You have to take charge and speak life into your own story. I am deserving. I am capable. I am enough. Affirming your worth doesn't mean arrogance. It means self-respect. It means recognizing that your existence alone carries meaning. And when you stop chasing external approval, you start living in alignment with your truth. When you know your worth, you stop settling. You stop accepting what's beneath you. You raise your standards, not out of ego, but out of clarity. You begin to attract people and opportunities that match your energy because you've already declared that you're ready for more. It's all about mindset, and it starts with your words. Speak with intention, speak with love, speak with power, and watch how your life begins to transform. When you start affirming your value, you'll notice how it influences every part of your life. Your relationships get healthier, your work becomes more fulfilling, and you begin to experience a deeper sense of peace because you're no longer wrestling with feelings of inadequacy. When you know your worth, you carry that confidence into everything you do. Too many people are stuck waiting for someone else to approve their vision, waiting for the world to validate their goals. But let me tell you this, you don't need anyone to confirm what's already inside you. You don't need applause. You don't need someone to co-sign your dreams. And you certainly don't need permission to walk in your calling. The only one who can truly limit you is the person staring back in the mirror. We've been conditioned to believe that our dreams only matter when others acknowledge them. We look for signs, for someone to say, "You're ready," or "You've got what it takes." But life doesn't operate on external approval. If you're always waiting for someone else to open the door, you might never get through it. Sometimes you've got to turn the handle yourself, or knock it down if you have to. Think back to all the moments you had a powerful idea or a clear vision for your future, but didn't act because you doubted your timing or your ability. Maybe you hesitated, hoping someone would say, "You're good enough." But here's the truth. If you wait for that moment of external validation, you might miss opportunity after opportunity. The world won't always see your potential up front. They don't have to. That's your responsibility. You have to believe in your vision before anyone else does. You don't need everything to be perfect. You don't have to feel 100% prepared. That moment may never arrive, and that's okay. Success isn't about flawless execution. It's about bold moves. It's about stepping out even when the path ahead is unclear. You don't need a green light from the world. What you need is the grit to keep going even when it gets tough. When you give yourself the go-ahead, you take your power back. You reclaim your ability to decide what's possible. You stop letting the world define your limits. Because the truth is, if you keep waiting for permission, you'll stay stuck. But when you realize you've always had the authority to begin, everything changes. You start taking leaps. You start chasing the dreams that have been buried inside you for too long. And in that process, you set yourself free. There's a powerful transformation that happens when you stop asking, "Am I allowed to?" and start declaring, "This is who I am." You move with purpose. You stop overthinking and start trusting your instincts. You realize that the only validation you ever truly needed was your own belief. Once you claim that belief, you start opening doors you didn't even realize were there. You stop waiting on the perfect moment and create your own. You give yourself space to evolve, to stumble, to grow, and eventually to thrive. That's when real power shows up, when you own your life completely. Every word you speak about yourself and your journey matters. The language you use isn't just sound, it's direction. Words carry momentum. So when you say things like, "I can't," "I'm not ready," or "this is too much," you're unintentionally building walls around yourself. You're not just expressing doubt. You're shaping your world around those limits. Your words guide your mind, and your mind guides your behavior. When you constantly feed yourself negativity, your brain starts preparing for failure. It expects resistance. It starts looking for proof that things won't work out. If you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," you'll behave as if it's true. You'll second-guess decisions. You'll walk away from opportunities. You'll settle. Not because you have to, but because you've convinced yourself that you don't deserve better. But flip that mindset, and everything changes. Start speaking with intention. Declare your strengths. Speak power over your life. When you affirm your ability, your perspective shifts. Suddenly, barriers look like challenges, not roadblocks. You start approaching life with energy instead of fear. Words are fuel. They can either propel you forward or keep you stuck. Life doesn't just happen to you, it responds to you. And much of that response is based on the way you talk about your life, your goals, your identity. If you want to change your reality, change your vocabulary. Speak from the perspective of who you're becoming, not just who you are now. That's not delusion, it's alignment. If you want to step into success, you've got to start sounding like someone who believes they belong there. Your language has to match your vision. When you talk about what's coming, are your words filled with hope or hesitation? Do you say, one day I might, or I'm already becoming that person? Those small shifts matter. They shape your mindset. And your mindset drives your behavior. When you speak from doubt, you move through life cautiously, holding back, hesitating, playing small. But when you speak from belief, you act with boldness. You approach challenges with courage. You become persistent, not because it's easy, but because your words have already built the momentum. And here's something powerful. How you speak about yourself not only shapes how you see the world, but it also influences how the world sees you. Confidence is magnetic. People respond to certainty. Opportunities begin to show up, not because life magically changes, but because your words gave them a place to land. You're no longer walking through life with the energy of someone uncertain or defeated. You're moving with the confidence of someone who knows they're living on purpose. And that energy? It's magnetic. It draws in the opportunities, people, and momentum that align with your vision. Because life is always echoing back the language you use. If you're looking to elevate your life, to rise beyond your current circumstances, it starts with the words you speak. Words aren't just sounds, they're signals. They're like declarations of what you're open to receiving and what you're determined to chase. When you speak with intention, when you breathe life into your dreams, your vision, and your future, you're giving those dreams the space to expand. You're telling yourself, I'm ready for more. Resilience isn't just about making it through tough times. It's about the mindset you nurture while you're in the storm. It's what you whisper to yourself when life tries to knock you off your path. Everyone encounters setbacks. It's a part of being human. But the ones who rise aren't the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who speak strength into their struggle. Affirmations aren't about pretending the challenges don't exist. They're about standing tall in the face of them and saying, I'm more than this obstacle, because you are. Life will hit you with disappointments, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your inner battles. And in those moments, it's tempting to feel crushed. But if you've developed the habit of speaking truth and power over yourself, you'll find the strength to rise. Choosing to speak life in the midst of pain is one of the most courageous things you can do. Affirmations are more than hopeful phrases. They're declarations that shift your internal world. When you say, I am strong, you're not just stating something. You're programming your mind to believe it. You're creating a reservoir of resilience you can draw from when the pressure builds. The more you reinforce your value, your strength, and your purpose, the more unshakable you become. You're training your mind to expect breakthrough, not breakdown. So when adversity comes, your default isn't to collapse, it's to rise. Instead of spiraling into doubt, you remind yourself, I've been through worse and I came out stronger. I'll rise again. These affirmations act like an internal compass, always pointing you back to your power. They guide you through the chaos and bring clarity when everything else feels uncertain. What's powerful about affirmations is that they work both ways. They prepare you and they protect you. When you use them daily, you're strengthening your foundation. You wake up saying, I'm capable, I'm focused, I'm ready. And those words become armor for whatever the day throws at you. Then when life surprises you with hardship, those same affirmations become a lifeline. When everything seems to fall apart, you don't crumble. You remind yourself, I've got this. I can get through this. That mindset doesn't happen by chance. It's built through repetition, through discipline, through belief. Affirmations shift your focus from problems to possibilities, from what you've lost to what's still possible. Resilience isn't about being hard or unbreakable. It's about being flexible, bending but not snapping under pressure. And affirmations help you find that balance. By reminding yourself daily of your strength, you train yourself to adapt, to pivot, and to rise. Because even if you can't control the storm, you can control how you navigate through it. You can choose to speak hope instead of fear. You can choose to affirm that you'll find your way, even if the path isn't clear yet. And in those moments, you realize that affirmations aren't just words, they're anchors. They hold you steady in the chaos. They remind you that no season is forever, and your response is where your real power lies. Over time, this creates a deep, unshakable confidence, not just when things are going well, but especially when they're not. You start to trust yourself more. You begin to believe, without a doubt, that no matter what life throws at you, you'll rise every time. That's the true essence of resilience, an inner knowing that every fall is just a setup for your comeback. And with each affirmation, each declaration of strength, you're building the emotional and mental muscle you need to thrive. Not just to make it through, but to grow, to evolve, and to stand taller than ever. You shift from simply surviving to intentionally growing. You're not just enduring hardship, you're expanding through it. You're emerging from every challenge sharper, stronger, and more rooted in your worth, because you've been speaking truth over yourself the entire way. Believing in the power of your words is understanding that they carry influence far beyond the moment. Speaking positively isn't about pretending, it's about claiming authority over your reality. Your words aren't just expressions, they're tools that sculpt your mindset, direct your actions, and shape your future. When you speak with faith, you're not just crossing your fingers, you're anchoring hope into your daily rhythm. Every phrase you say carries intent, and when you align those words with vision, with clarity, with purpose, you activate real change. Saying "I will succeed" isn't just a motivational line, it's a statement of identity. It moves your focus towards solutions instead of setbacks. That belief shifts your behavior. You take more initiative. You face uncertainty with resilience. You stay locked in on your goals because you've already spoken your victory into existence. Having faith in your words means understanding that affirmations aren't just for the outside world to hear. They're for you. They're reminders to your soul. They rewire your internal dialogue, helping you stay focused when doubt creeps in. And no, it's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing to see the potential in the mess. It's about focusing on what's possible, not what's limiting you. The real transformation begins when your words are backed by action. Having faith in the power of what you say doesn't mean success will fall into your lap without effort. It means your words become the blueprint for the life you're building. They shape your mindset, guide your choices, and direct your focus. When you believe in the power behind your language, you're far more inclined to take steps that align with that belief. You act with purpose because you've already spoken your intentions into existence. Faith in words isn't just about how you talk to yourself. It's also about how you speak about others and the world around you. When your words uplift, empower, and encourage, you're creating a ripple effect of positivity. And that energy doesn't just help others, it shifts the atmosphere around you. It makes room for better relationships, more meaningful connections, and a mindset that attracts growth. But it's not all instant. Having faith in your words also means embracing patience. The seeds you plant with your language may not bloom overnight, but that doesn't mean they aren't growing. Trust the process. The positive affirmations you repeat, the declarations you speak over your life, they're setting things in motion, even if you can't see it yet. Your words do more than reflect what you think. They shape what you believe and ultimately become. When you speak with conviction, you begin to direct your life rather than simply react to it. You're not just describing your world, you're shaping it. That's the power of intentional language. When you consistently align your words with your goals, you activate a force that helps turn those goals into reality. You're not just affirming hope, you're stepping into action with confidence because your belief is already rooted in what you've been speaking. This faith in your words gives you courage. It fuels you to take that first step, to keep moving even when fear tries to hold you back. Because let's face it, fear and doubt are real, and if left unchecked, they'll run your life. Everyone feels them, but not everyone learns to rise above them. You've got to learn to fight those feelings before they convince you to shrink. Doubt is sly. It sneaks in right when you're about to grow, whispering, "What if you fail?" or "What if you're not ready?" But doubt isn't truth. It's a reaction to uncertainty. It's your mind protecting you from the unknown, but in doing so, it often blocks the very growth you're meant to experience. The first step to beating doubt is recognizing it for what it is, a sign that you're stepping into something meaningful. It shows up when you're close to leveling up. Instead of pulling back, that's when you lean in and replace doubt with confidence. Now, confidence doesn't mean pretending to have it all figured out. It means trusting yourself to adapt and learn along the way. You build that trust step by step, by showing up, by trying, by proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. And with each step, doubt loses power. Fear operates a little differently. It shouts, It amplifies risk and exaggerates your insecurities. It creates worst-case scenarios and tries to convince you that stepping forward is too dangerous. But here's the thing. Fear is often just your imagination working against you. Most of what you fear never comes to pass. Fear, while trying to protect you, can also cage you in. That's why courage is essential. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to take action despite it. It's stepping forward even when your voice shakes. It's doing the thing even when your hands tremble. Fear loses its grip the moment you confront it, and the more you face it, the smaller it becomes. Action is your way out. The more you move, the more fear fades. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is in your focus. Stop obsessing over what might go wrong and start focusing on everything that could go right. Instead of listing reasons why you might fail, start stacking evidence of your strength. Start feeding your mind with thoughts of resilience, not resistance. Your mind believes what you consistently tell it. Fill it with doubt, and that's what it will reflect. But if you fill it with belief and determination, you'll begin to build an inner world that can handle any outer challenge. Doubt and fear also grow in silence. When you keep your dreams and your struggles bottled up, it's easy for them to spiral into negativity. But when you open up, when you talk to someone, seek support, or simply voice what's been weighing you down, you often realize you're not alone. Sometimes hearing someone say you've got this is enough to remind you of the strength that's already inside you. And perhaps the most vital weapon in this battle is your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself shapes your mindset more than anything else. If your inner voice constantly criticizes, belittles, or questions your worth, it's time to change the dialogue. Don't let doubt settle in. Counter it with truth. Remind yourself of how far you've come, of the strength you've shown, of the mountains you've already climbed. When fear tries to control your choices, remind yourself of the victories you've already earned. That internal conversation is where your battles are won or lost. Here's something to keep in mind. Doubt and fear don't disappear forever. They evolve as you grow. As your goals expand, new fears will try to creep in, but you don't have to let them stop you. Each time you push through, you build a stronger version of yourself. You become more capable, more confident, and more ready for what's next. That's the journey. It's not about never feeling doubt or fear again. It's about never letting them make your decisions for you. And every time you silence that inner critic and choose courage, you're rewriting the story of who you are becoming. You develop a kind of inner strength, a mental resilience that allows you to move through uncertainty with clarity and confidence. You begin to trust in your ability to keep showing up no matter what. Because at the end of the day, overcoming fear and doubt comes down to a decision. A decision to believe in yourself. To keep pressing forward even when the outcome isn't clear. To recognize that you are far more capable than you've ever given yourself credit for. Every single time you choose to act in spite of fear, every moment you take a step forward, even when you're unsure, you weaken fear's grip on your life. You start to see that the real barrier between you and your goals isn't fear itself, but your willingness to keep moving through it. When you choose courage over comfort, you reclaim your power. Focusing on your purpose, your destiny, is about directing your energy toward a vision that resonates deeply within you. It's more than just having dreams or setting goals. It's about living intentionally, knowing that you're walking a path designed specifically for you. This isn't about checking boxes or meeting external expectations. It's about aligning your mindset, your actions, and your choices with the future you feel called to create. To live with that kind of focus, you first need clarity. You've got to look inward. Ask yourself the hard questions. What lights you up? What fills you with passion and purpose? What matters to you at your core? Finding your direction means tuning out the noise and reconnecting with your values, your desires, and your sense of calling. It means peeling back the layers of what the world says you should be and getting honest about who you want to be. Once you're clear on what that looks like, it's time to set goals that actually reflect that deeper vision, not just surface-level accomplishments, but milestones that stretch you and pull you toward your true potential. These goals should challenge you. They should help you grow. They should inspire you to become the best version of yourself, not for approval, but for alignment. Every decision, every habit, every step should move you closer to that vision. But staying focused on your destiny isn't always easy. The path comes with distractions, delays, and doubt. There will be days when quitting looks easier than continuing. But that's exactly when your focus matters most. Commitment to your purpose isn't about being perfect. It's about staying grounded in why you started, especially when the journey gets tough. It's about holding on to your vision when it feels far away and continuing forward even when no one else sees what you see. One of the biggest traps that can pull you off course is comparison. When you start looking sideways, measuring your progress against someone else's, you lose sight of your own lane. But your journey is your own. Your timing is unique. And your value is not based on how you stack up against anyone else. Focusing on your destiny means honoring your own path. It means refusing to seek validation from the outside and learning to validate yourself from within. And it requires intentional living, choosing every day to invest your time, energy, and attention in things that align with your purpose. That may mean setting boundaries, saying no to distractions, walking away from what's comfortable in order to step into what's meaningful. Every choice should echo your vision. Every action should reinforce your why. Another critical piece of staying on course is cultivating a positive and empowered mindset. Believing in your destiny starts with believing in yourself. That confidence becomes your fuel. It gives you the strength to overcome obstacles, to turn setbacks into growth, and to see adversity as a teacher instead of an enemy. Positivity isn't about ignoring reality. It's about facing it with faith. It's choosing to believe that what you're building is worth the effort, even when it feels like progress is slow. That mindset transforms your struggles into stepping stones and keeps you going when motivation fades. Pursuing your purpose also means committing to lifelong growth. Your path will evolve as you evolve. Don't be afraid of that. Embrace the process of becoming. Let your goals grow with you. Let your vision stretch as you stretch. The journey isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming the person capable of living the life you envision. And don't underestimate your environment. Who you surround yourself with matters. The people in your circle should be those who uplift you, believe in your vision, and remind you of your worth. Their energy should encourage you to stay true to your path. If someone consistently undermines your progress or plants seeds of doubt, you have every right to create space. Protecting your peace and your purpose is a form of self-respect. In the end, staying focused on your destiny is about living with purpose, on purpose. It's a daily commitment to becoming who you were meant to be. It requires grit, patience, and unwavering belief. But when you stay aligned, when you choose to trust your path, you build a life that's not only successful by the world's standards, but fulfilling to your soul. You become someone who doesn't just chase goals, but someone who lives a calling. And through that focus, even the hardest moments become part of your transformation. Every effort, every lesson, every challenge moves you closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. And through it all, you carry one powerful belief: the best is yet to come. That mindset doesn't deny the pain of the past. It simply chooses not to live there. It lifts your eyes to what's ahead. It keeps your heart open to possibility. And it reminds you that your future holds more promise than your past ever could. This belief, that the best is yet to come, isn't about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's rooted in the deep understanding that growth is a journey, not a destination. It's the mindset that your current chapter isn't your final one, that no matter where you are right now, there's more to experience, more to discover, more to become. When you hold on to this belief, you start seeing your struggles not as stop signs, but as stepping stones towards something greater. At the core of this perspective is a forward-facing attitude. Instead of being weighed down by what's missing or what went wrong in the past, your focus shifts toward what's possible. You begin to ask, what's next? You begin to chase new dreams, explore new passions, and remain open to opportunities that align with your growth. That sense of anticipation becomes a driving force. It motivates you to keep reaching, keep evolving, keep believing. This mindset builds resilience. When you truly believe your best days haven't happened yet, you're more likely to press on through tough seasons. You carry within you a picture of the future that gives your effort purpose. You find strength in the belief that every challenge you face is just preparing you for the success ahead. You gain the courage to keep going because you're no longer tied to your present circumstances. You're anchored in your vision for what's coming. That's what creates forward momentum. And still, believing in the future doesn't mean you overlook the present. In fact, it means you learn to appreciate the now while still holding space for what's next. You can be grateful for how far you've come while staying excited for how much farther you can go. This blend of appreciation and anticipation builds a mindset that's both grounded and hopeful. You learn to find peace in progress. This belief also invites change. It encourages you to release the limitations you've placed on yourself. You stop telling yourself what you're not capable of and start seeing all the doors that are still waiting to be opened. You begin to welcome discomfort, risk, and growth because you know, deep down, every new experience is shaping you into the person you're becoming. Fear and self-doubt begin to lose their grip, not because they disappear, but because they're no longer steering the ship. Hope takes the lead. And when hope leads, fear follows. That's the quiet power behind believing in what's ahead. It helps you move with boldness. Instead of hesitating, you begin to step into opportunities with an open heart and a willingness to learn, to grow, and to expand. You realize that the unknown isn't a threat, it's an invitation. And when you carry that kind of belief, it radiates outward. The energy you give off changes. You begin to inspire others, not with words alone, but by the way you live. Optimism becomes your presence. Hope becomes your message. And the people around you feel it. They're drawn to it. They grow because of it. Believing that the best is yet to come also calls you into a life of ongoing growth. You're no longer satisfied with staying the same. You crave expansion. You want to evolve, to stretch, to elevate. Not because you aren't enough now, but because you know there's more within you waiting to be unlocked. Every step becomes an act of becoming. Every effort becomes an investment in your future self. You no longer fear the process, you embrace it. And that's where the magic happens. This belief invites you to live intentionally, to craft a life filled with meaning, joy, and forward motion. It's not about sitting back and hoping for better days. It's about shaping those days with your actions, your choices, and your mindset. Every time you speak life over your future, every time you act in alignment with that vision, you're building something extraordinary. So yes, the best is yet to come. Not because it's waiting around the corner by chance, but because you are moving toward it with purpose. Because you're doing the inner work. Because you're choosing to show up. Because you're willing to keep becoming. Let that belief be your fuel. Let it guide your next decision, inspire your next step, and remind you, especially in the hard moments, that your greatest victories, most meaningful experiences, and deepest joy are still unfolding. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Trust the process. And remember, the life you're reaching for is not a dream. It's a future you have the power to create. Your next chapter? It's going to be your best one yet.